Hi guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have no idea where the hell that just came from. Anyway, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I don't know if you can tell or anything. I've got my hair redone. You probably literally cannot tell at all. I get it like redone like once every 6 months or something. Shocker, I'm not actually naturally blonde. And I had a bit of a before we get into the bread and butter of this video, 30 seconds of time in my late teens, basically I decided, whim at the spur of the moment, I was like, I am going to be blonde. I went into Superdrug. I went and picked out the most platinum blonde I could possibly find. I went to my stepsister and I said, hey, let's do this. A mess. Oh, it was an absolute mess. It was such a mess. Like Brad Mondo would have made a video about it. It was honestly tragic. Donald Trump hair, like all the way up here. Like it was so bad. And I was at uni and I basically had to wear like a beanie because they couldn't fit me in for like 3 weeks. Not flattering. One of my little girls she's a redhead. I'm not talking nice redhead. I'm talking about like you know what happens when you get it seriously wrong? Yeah, that happened to the hairdressers and they like fixed it, and then ever since then I've just loved it and I've been like, right, okay, I'm blonde now. So never look at my hair and go, oh, I really wish I had her color hair. It's not natural. I'm just gonna let you know it's not natural. Just thought I'd clear the air because I just thought I'd share that bit of life knowledge with you. Anyway, should we actually get into the crux of this video now that we're done with the pleasantries? SACCONEJOLYs and Saccone. In my eyes, are pretty hypocritical rants. And of course, if she titles a video like that, I'm obviously going to make a video about it. Obviously, well and truly, like, who are we if we cannot comment on the hypocrisy that is going on with her rant? Anyway, but then again, I do actually sort of understand where she's coming from. If you haven't seen the video, she's basically going on about how the internet is a really nasty, toxic place filled with lots of nasty, toxic people.
Fed all of this, like, I don't know, it's like everything's a negative thing. Everything's like a drama or hate-filled.
And all of this, not even like talking about like drama reaction commentary channels, literally just talking about like the internet in general. Anna Saccone basically came on and they're still going strong, right? They are still vlogging. I cannot believe that they are still vlogging. Do I agree with everything they post? No. Do I hate the fact that they still use their kids as cash cows? You betcha. But at least we're getting a lot more like one-on-one time with maybe not Jonathan, although Jonathan does come and intersect every now and again.
Tesla Model X, amazing car, okay? Amazing family car, 6 seats, nothing goes wrong, doesn't need to be serviced.
You know, it's not as bad as it has been like earlier this year when we had the whole Edie saga. It's not as bad as that, like nowhere near as bad as that. And for that, one thing I can go is, I think we can all go, yeah, But then again, like their views aren't great. And I think it's because no one's really interested in watching like the same stuff. Anyway, I digress. Just wanted to say I have absolutely no idea what Jonathan's TikTok is like at the minute because I had to actually delete my TikTok to make more space on my phone. So I've got no clue what it's like over there. I'm just talking about it from like their YouTube channel, obviously. So what happened was Anna did this extremely clickbaity video, like with a clickbaity title, giving up social media, which has two parts to it. Number one, you're doing exactly the same thing that you're saying you don't like when people promote drama and negativity. I'm not saying giving up social media is a negative thing. I'm saying that it's a very drama fueled title and it's gotten 43k views and all their other ones have between, I don't know, 25 and 31.
The majority of people love drama and they love tearing people down and cancelling people.
Okay, so instantly you're giving into that drama. Much like the title of this video is going to be something extremely drama filled to make people want to click on it. I'm not saying it's clickbait, but you can't have a boring title. Otherwise, not even loyal fans or loyal subscribers are going to click on your video. It's literally the way of YouTube. If you have a boring title, boring thumbnail, chances are people are not going to click on it. But you don't want to clickbait people, so you need to actually have truth in there, but you need to amp it up. Do you know what I mean? Like just use use like a really catchy title. Do you see what I mean? And it does actually work. She's saying giving up social media, and her whole entire thing is about drama. So she knows that people are going to click on that going, oh my gosh, the gossip, the drama. And it's exactly the thing that she's saying she doesn't want.
I would be lying if I said that I didn't feel an increasing amount of anxiety every time I open a social media app. And it never used to feel that way, but it just feels like there's so much negativity everywhere, and you're just fed all of this, like, I don't know, it's like everything's a negative thing. Everything's like a drama or hate-filled, or even the news, like it's all drama, bad news, like, you know, people being cancelled, politicians being cancelled, celebrities being cancelled, dragging people. Like, it seems like we just build people up to tear them down.
You see what I mean? Do we see the hypocrisy, the hypocrisy that's happening there? Another thing as well is that you can't give up social media. Social media is quite literally your income. If you gave up social media, you guys would I don't even know where you'd be. I don't know where you'd be. Like, what would they do? What would they do? I don't know. Doesn't Anna have like a fashion thing, or she did, or Jonathan, did he drop out or did he not? They're so vague and their stories never quite match up. I don't really know, but all I'm trying to say is that is a clickbaity ass thumbnail with a clickbaity ass title, and it's faulty on 2 different accounts. One of them, she can't give up social media because it is quite literally her job. It is how she earns money. And number 2, it's like drama-filled title. Exactly what she says she's against. It ain't washing with me, and it's extremely hypocritical, but whatever. So I clicked on this isn't even getting into what she was actually saying. So I clicked on it. The thing is, right, is that I totally get where she's coming from. Like I'm gonna sympathize with her. I do completely get where she's coming from. I don't agree where she's saying all of a sudden it's this really hate-filled place.
It really affects me. Like, I feel like it just makes me feel so sad, and I feel worse after opening these apps than I did before opening them. So I've been kind of trying to limit my time on them for that reason, because it's just so depressing. And it makes me really sad, and I've been noticing it more than ever, I think, this year. I don't think it was as bad. Like, I remember when we started YouTube back in 2008, like 2008, 2009, I guess maybe 2009, and it was such a positive place. And it's just, not just YouTube, it's like every social media platform.
I think she's now feeling that because they get a lot of hate now directed towards them, and maybe it's making her think about the internet in a different way. But I actually think the internet is a slightly nicer place than it used to be, because back when like MySpace and all that was about, there were no mods, regulations put on what you can actually post. There were a lot more hate speech, a lot more, you know. I actually think that social media now is going the complete opposite direction, and on some platforms they're trying to completely take away, actually trying to censor a lot of stuff. And a lot of the times if you post a negative comment, it will actually get deleted before the person's even seen it, because, you know, it like some platforms just disagree with certain terminology used. Anyway, so that's all I'm gonna say. So I disagree with her on the fact that she's saying, like, you know, I wake up really, really anxious because everything's so negative. I think now that you've actually started to get hate, you've now starting to realise that, oh, because before they were living in this very happy bubble where they may have had like a few negative nillies. That I do disagree with. Like, I do disagree with. Like, I'm so anxious to open up social media and read the comments and stuff. And it's like, can you imagine how your kids will feel in the next like few years when they start to like look up their names, or look up the SACCONEJOLYs names, or look up anything like that? They're going to come across all of the nasty, disgusting comments that people leave about them. They're going to look up the fact that their parents were exploiting them basically since the moment they were born. They're going to pick up on stuff like that. And so for you to say, oh, I just want to like shut everything off, you haven't given that grace to your own children. Do you not see the hypocrisy in that? You're saying like, oh, I don't want to, I can't bear to look at it. But she's not actually thinking, like, she's not this, okay, I don't want to like sound really like patronizing or anything, but she's not like using her noggin.
Like, I can relate so much when people talk about it, but anxiety never ever was, which I'm really grateful for. But I would be lying if I said that I didn't feel an increasing amount of anxiety every time I open a social media app. And it never used to feel that way, but it just feels like there's so much negativity everywhere, and you're just fed all of this, like, I don't know, it's like everything's a negative thing. Like,
she's not going, well, if this is how I feel, my kids are going to feel even worse, because they have had no control over putting it on the internet, and they've then got to read all this stuff. She may have not have been talking about like her own channel specifically. I think she was like talking about everything as a whole, so like Instagram, Twitter, the news. She was just talking about the internet as a whole. But then she does also sort of go into, well, when we first started, we didn't receive this much hate.
When we started YouTube back in 2008, like 2008, 2009, I guess maybe 2009, and it was such a positive place. And it's just not just YouTube, it's like every social media platform.
So she is indirectly like tying it all in. And I fully get that, like the internet sometimes is a toxic, nasty wasteland. The news and stuff has always been hard to read. I go through periods of my life whereby I read the news for a couple of months and then I have to take myself out of it and like take myself out of it and go, no, like I can't read this for my own sanity, like, because I'm very anxious. She says that she doesn't suffer from anxiety. I do. I take medication for it, and it's taken me a lot of like therapy and a lot of like, with the mix of medication and therapy, to be able to rationalize things. But I go through days and weeks periods of my life where I'm completely erratic and I have these disgusting, horrible thoughts all of the time and I can't shut off, and I'm like, my eye is twitching and nothing's actually really happening like in my life. Like, I'm being quite open and honest here, like nothing really is happening in my life. Sometimes I'm actually subconsciously worried about something that I know, like an event that's going to be happening in the next month, and I won't be thinking about it, but subconsciously my brain has logged it and it's set off all these like physiological symptoms. My eye is twitching, I'm skipping meals, I'm not able to exercise or do any stuff I actually want to do. I'm literally shaking, I get angry, I get so flustered and grumpy and angry with just everything, like myself and people. And if I am in that state and I then switch on the news, that just makes it even worse. If it can get any worse, it does. And there's always a worse. I often think when I'm in that stage, oh, it can't get any worse. Like, I can't, without literally, and I'll have panic attacks and stuff, and I'm just like, it can't get any worse than this. And I promise you, it always does. My body surprises me, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can appreciate that and like relate to that, but that's just how I would describe my like episodes of anxiety. I'm getting flustered just talking about it. But what I'm trying to say is that I do understand where she's coming from, but she doesn't give that same grace to her kids. And if my kids grow up and they have the same anxiety disorders as I do, and they have this, giving your kids that same grace, and it is upsetting that she can't like put two and two together. The other thing she says as well, she's like, oh, people build them up to tear them down.
Ragging people, like it seems like we just build people up to tear them down.
And I do agree with her on that. I think there's a lot of that happens, but I think that isn't necessarily, I think it's not the same people building them up to tear them down. I think a lot of people either fall out of love with someone, like they don't like a creator, or they don't like an artist or singer-songwriter, whatever. They don't like people anymore. I think it's just because you just get bigger, you're gonna then reach more people, and those people are gonna have different opinions. So it may seem like everyone is the same people bringing you up and tearing you down, and I don't deny there may be a little bit of that, but I think it is much more to do with your reach gets bigger and people just start to realize a bit more about what's going on. And there's only so much hate-filled comments that you can take, and I do get what they mean. Like, sometimes you will see the same sorts of people just commenting the same sorts of things on their YouTube channel, and I do get that, but it's because quite a few people would have like so many creators would have just like upped and left after just like the amount of like hate and visceral and whatever they got, but they decided not to. I do also think it's like, she's basically like, Anna is like complaining about her job, and don't get me wrong, everyone complains about their job. That is quite literally how you earn your money. And if you don't use any of these platforms, what are you going to do? I think it would have been better if she just made a video and said just like addressing the hate or something like that, because I think that's where she was getting at, but she sort of dressed it up in a like, I can't bear to look at everything else that's going on social media. It's like, yeah, the social media, like, it's always been like this, if not worse. It used to be a lot worse, of the reasons I just said. For me, I think it used to be a lot worse, because now they've censored a lot of things. I just thought this whole thing, like I said, like, it's a bit hypocritical. she doesn't give the same grace, they both don't give the same grace to their children, and they both say that they can't handle the comments and the negativity. Jonathan says it all the time, and weirdly enough, he is completely vacant on social media, but they won't give the same grace to their kids. The only thing that I will say is, now that discovering all these new channels that I hadn't really heard of, like recently, where you have these channels that literally have like Instagram pages for their toddlers. Ew, disgusting, like why? It just makes me think of that Ren and Eleanor situation, but whatever, that is a completely different situation. But what I'm trying to say is that at least they don't do that, of what I know. There used to be like a lot of fan pages for their kids, but that is sort of it. I think that's where it ended. I'm not sure, someone correct me. I am not a fan of kids' social media platforms. I just think it's very iffy and a bit, it just invites the wrong sorts of people. It just does. I don't agree with it. Do not let your toddlers have a social media account. If you're gonna let anyone do that, let your pets. I was thinking about setting up one for my cat because he is so cute, but I don't think I will because it's just a lot of effort. So you can probably hear it, but these tractors go up so quickly. I'll show you, but then that would literally be me like showing my house. So we have loads of grockles that go up and down our road. Grockles like tourists, because they use this as like the rat run to like get to the beach. But we also have, we're surrounded by like farmland, like we live on a farm, so we have so much like farm machinery going up and down, and then when they go down, they're literally like screeching to a halt, and I'm like, oh my goodness gracious me, because these tractors move so quickly. People think they're like limited to like 30 miles an hour or whatever. They move, they literally, down these little country lanes, they're huge, and they just come at you, and then they brake like not very well, and I'm just like, I can't deal with this. Anyway, thank you. I do not like these shades, they do not suit my face, but whatever. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video. Mwah.
This is the most frustrating car we've ever owned. Tesla Model X, amazing car.